Okay, we're going to talk about the long-term corrective actions. So we have an audit, and we seem to have some issues with regards to some of the audits coming back bad. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to isolate the ones that are giving us a cause for concern. We simply go to the LPA audit. We expand all, and through this audit process, we go down and we're looking for any particular ones that might be causing us some concern. Now, how you would identify that would be you're looking for these red blocks. These red blocks tell you that there's been a marked bad audit. Here in the particular one is in March, January. So what you're looking for is you're looking for a pattern where these continue to get more and more. So you see in this particular case, there's one for March. There could have been multiple in March, depending on the number of times and the frequencies that you're doing the audits. But you're looking, in this case, you're looking, say there was one or two in January, one or two in February, again in March. So you're seeing a pattern that this particular question here, which is the 5S being respected, you're seeing that repeatedly you're getting a no or a bad result on those audits. So that's a good candidate to target for a long-term corrective action. So to proceed with this, you simply pick the very last one that you have. So in this case, we'll go after the accurate TZ3. We'll assume that we're seeing 3 or 4 in January, 2 in February, 1 in March. So to identify that, you just click on the red block, which says March, and it will identify the day of the week and the time of the month that, the date of the month that this occurred. And this occurred on a Thursday, the 5th of March. So that's the very last one, and that's the one that we want to go after to say that we're going to institute the long-term corrective action on this particular one. So make note of take note of the date and take note of the process, and that's what we're going to go after. So we're going to go up to form checks, and we're going to go all audits by date, and we're going to go after the one that was on the 5th of March. We're going to fetch that data, and we're going to look for that one. And we can see it right here quite easily. You can see it's got a 95% score. It's low because it hasn't been it's not 100%. There's a bad mark on it. So we're going to look at that and take a look at the report. If we have an idea, the question is the 5S being respected. The answer to that is no, because it's got a bad score. So we're going to address this one. Now there's a couple things that need to take place on this particular record. The first thing is I notice there's a bad there. That needs to be corrected. So that's the first thing that needs to be done. So we're going to edit this record by clicking on the pen, going down here, and I see that someone has already entered in a corrective action, but it looks like they may have forgotten to mark this as corrected. Marking that as corrected would change the status here, the final status. As you can see, it was empty, so the final status remained at bad. We're going to make it corrected, so now the final status will be corrected. So when I go and I hit save and back, takes me to the audit, I can see that that now is orange, and it shows that this particular audit has been corrected. But we've also isolated this one as a long-term corrective action requirement. So to do that, we're going to add related here. So checking off the add related icon brings us to this screen. And now what we want to do is we want to put in a summary of the continuous nonconformance issue. So just give a little bit of a description as to why you believe this has and continues to be a nonconformance issue with regards to this particular process. So we're going to put in just a simple test here. And then the long-range corrective action. Whatever that may be, whatever actions you're going to take or have taken that you've put in place to fix this issue, this is what you're going to put in there. How did you fix this this issue from happening? And then maybe you want to hit a follow-up date, and we'll set that follow-up date. It could be 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, whatever your corporate policy is. We're going to set a follow-up date on this particular one, and then we're going to hit save and back. So now we have the corrective action in there. We have the long-term corrective action. Now we just want to double check to make sure it's there. I'm confident that it is. So now we go back to that audit. We expand that open, and you will see right there that it shows that in fact somewhere around the midway point of March, long-term corrective action was deployed. That's the indicated by the solid green line going through the month. So if you click on that, you'll be able to find it. There it is there. It was on the 12th. One long-term corrective action was deployed. We can click on that, and that will bring up the details to tell us just exactly why was this long-term corrective action required, and then what in fact was done. So that is a brief overview and a walkthrough of the long-term corrective actions.